Hi there, it's now time to begin our Module 8 review. Tomorrow's our Module 8 test, and so today we are going to be reading some stories and answering some questions that are very similar to tomorrow's stories and questions. So let's go ahead and begin. The first story we have is The Crow and the Pitcher. This is a fable, so make sure you're listening very closely as I read the story. The Crow and the Pitcher. A crow half dead with thirst came upon a pitcher which had once been full of water. But when the crow put its beak into the mouth of the pitcher, he found that only very little water was left in it, and that he could not reach far enough down to get at it. He tried and tried, but at last had to give up in the despair. So he's very upset he couldn't get the water. Then a thought came to him, and he took a pebble and dropped it into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped it into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. Then he took another pebble and dropped that into the pitcher. At last he saw the water mount up near him, and after casting in a few more pebbles, he was able to quench his thirst and save his life. So the crow kept on putting pebbles into the pitcher, just kept on and on and on, and then eventually it got full enough to where he put his beak into the pitcher and started to drink water. So that's what it means by quenching his thirst. He was finally able to get some water and drink from the pitcher. Moral of the story: think and work hard. You may find the solution to any problem. The Crow and the Pitcher questions. Number 1. What lesson did the main character learn in the fable? Theme. A. Just be lazy. B. Think and work hard. Or C. Pebbles are a type of rock. Again, what lesson did the main character learn in the fable? This is theme. A. Just be lazy. B. Think and work hard. Or C. Pebbles are a type of rock. I'm going to give you a moment to answer this question. So if you think it's A, hold a 1 up. If you think it's B, hold a 2 up. If you think it's C, hold a 3 up. Or if you have a whiteboard in front of you or a piece of paper, you can always go ahead and write the letter down. All right, if you need more time, just pause the video. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So let's talk about the question. What lesson did the main character learn in the fable? Remember, fables have a lesson that we, the reader, can learn and take away from. So let's go over the questions now. Just be lazy. Is that what the crow is doing, being lazy? No. Think and work hard. Did the crow think of a plan and work hard to accomplish that plan? Yes. Pebbles are a type of rock. Well, pebbles are a type of rock, but that's more of a fact rather than a lesson that we, the reader, can take away. So if you chose B, you're correct. Think and work hard. The crow thought of a plan, and he kept on and on working towards that plan until he was able to get some water. So B. Number 2, based on what you read in the story, what was the crow's behavior like? A. The crow was greedy and wanted more. B. The crow was smart and a hard worker. Or C. The crow was mean. Number 2, based on what you read in the story, what was the crow's behavior like? A. The crow was greedy and wanted more. B. The crow was smart and a hard worker. Or C. The crow was mean. So A, B, or C. Go ahead and think about this for a moment. All right, if you need more time, just pause the video, but let's talk about the question and the answers. So based on what you read in the story, what was the crow's behavior like? So this is a character trait, okay? How the character behaves, personal trait, okay? The crow was greedy and wanted more. So as we're reading this story, was the crow trying to be greedy and trying to get more and more? No, what was happening? The crow was very thirsty, very, very thirsty, and he needed water to help him with his thirst. So I don't think he was being greedy and wanted more. He just needed some water. The crow was smart and a hard worker. Was the crow smart and a hard worker? He was smart. He came up with a very clever plan, and he kept working hard to accomplish that plan, which was putting pebbles into the pitcher until the water got high enough to where he put his beak in and drink the water. So B is a good choice. C, the crow is mean. Did the crow ever do anything in the story that made him seem mean? No. So the correct answer is B. Number 3, what is the problem of the story? A, the crow is thirsty for water. B, the crow wanted to play with pebbles. C, the crow wanted a friend to play with. Number 3, what was the problem of the story? A, the crow is thirsty for water. B, the crow wanted to play with pebbles. Or C, the crow wanted a friend to play with. Okay, let's talk about the question. What is the problem in the story? So what is something that's happening in the story that's not going right for the main character, the crow? Okay. A, the crow is thirsty for water. Is that true? Yeah, in the beginning of the story, it talks about how the crow is very thirsty for water. Is that a problem when you're very thirsty for water and you're not able to get water quickly? That is a problem. B, the crow wanted to play with pebbles. Did we read about that? Did the crow really want to play with pebbles? No, the crow is using pebbles to help him try to get more water. Or C, the crow wanted a friend to play with. Did we ever read that in the story? No. So the correct answer is A, the crow is thirsty for water. That was the problem of the story. Number 4, which of these events happened at the end of the story? A, the crow tried to eat a pebble. B, the crow was able to drink some water. Or C, the pitcher fell and broke. Number 4, which of these events happened at the end of the story? A, the crow tried to eat a pebble. B, the crow was able to drink some water. Or C, the pitcher fell and broke. Don't forget to hold up your fingers. Which one do you think it is? A, B, or C? Or if you're writing it down, that's fine too. Okay, number 4. Which of these events happened at the end of the story? So what happened? How did the story end? Is it A, the crow tried to eat a pebble? Did that ever happen in the story? Did the crow ever try to eat a pebble? No. B, the crow was able to drink some water. Did that happen? He did finally get to drink some water. C, the pitcher fell and broke. Did that happen in the story? No. So the correct answer is B. So remember, as you are listening to these choices, if they didn't happen, then that is not the right answer then. So for example, the pitcher fell and broke. That never happened. The crow tried to eat a pebble. That never happened. So those are good clues that those are not the right answers. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to question 5. What was the moral of the story? A, make sure the water pitcher is always full. B, think and work hard. You may find the solution to any problem. C, pebbles are cool. Number 5, what was the moral of the story? Make sure the water pitcher is always full. B, think and work hard. You may find the solution to any problem. Or C, pebbles are cool. All right, if you need more time, just pause. But let's go ahead and go over the question and then the answers. What was the moral of the story? So moral is the lesson that we, the reader, can take away, something we learn, right? So A, make sure the water pitcher is always full. Was that the moral that the author was trying to get? Was that the lesson the author was trying to have us learn? Make sure your water pitcher is always full? I don't think so. B, think and work hard. You may find the solution to any problem. Well, that's a good lesson, and that does apply to the story we just read. Remember, if you think and you work hard towards your plan, you may find a solution to any problem. So if you have a problem, keep thinking and thinking of a solution. And once you come up with a solution, keep working hard to accomplish that solution, to have it figured out. So, and then C, pebbles are cool. I don't think that was the lesson the author was trying to get to us. Pebbles are cool, but I don't think that was the lesson. So what's the correct answer? B. Think and work hard, you may find the solution to any problem. And right here, I also, on these fables, sometimes they tell you the moral at the very end. Moral. Think and work hard, you may find the solution to any problem. So as I'm reading tomorrow, make sure you're listening. I might say the moral. Okay, number 6. How do you know this story is written in third-person point of view? A, the word pebble. B, the word pitcher. Or C, the word he. Number 6. How do you know the story is written in third-person point of view? A, the word pebble. B, the word pitcher. Or C, the word he. Okay, let's go ahead and go over this question. So we're talking about third-person point of view. When we think of third-person point of view, we think a person who is not in the book is telling it. Look for words like he, she, and they. What is this word right here? This word is he. So did I mention words like pebble or pitcher? No, we're looking for words that are he, she, they. A person who is not in the book is telling it. Okay? So the correct answer is going to be C, the word he. Tomorrow, if you notice words that don't make sense to point of view, you wouldn't hear those words when you think of point of view, first person or third person, then those are not the right answers. For example, pebble and pitcher, those don't make sense for point of view. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and go to our next story. This is going to be a biography. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. All right, this biography is titled Mae Jemison. Mae Jemison is a scientist. She was also an astronaut. She was the first African-American woman to go to space. Mae was born on October 17th, 1956. When she was a little girl in Chicago, she got a splinter in her thumb. It got infected and pus oozed out of the wound. She thought it was one of the neatest things ever. Her mother told her to look it up and learn more about it. Mae read about pus and got even more excited. It was then that she decided to become a scientist when she grew up. In school, Mae loved asking and answering questions. One of Mae's teachers asked her what she wanted to be when she grew up. She said she wanted to be a scientist. Her teacher didn't think an African-American girl could be a scientist. She asked if Mae meant she wanted to be a nurse. Mae insisted that no, she meant a scientist. She would spend hours in her school library reading about science and astronomy. Her parents took her to museums, and Mae learned that science was part of the whole world. Mae graduated from high school when she was only 16. She decided she wanted to be a biomedical engineer. Biomedical engineers invent machines and devices to use in medicine. She then became the youngest engineering student at her college. She was one of the few women or African-American people at Stanford when she arrived. Mae was eager to learn, but one professor ignored her questions. When another student asked the same questions, the professor praised him. Mae realized how hard it would be to be an African-American woman in the sciences. She did not let those experiences stop her, and she was determined to pursue her goal. She then moved to New York to attend Cornell University's medical school. In 1986, she decided to apply to NASA to become an astronaut. She moved to Houston to start astronaut training, and after 6 years, Mae took off on the Space Shuttle Endeavour as the first African-American woman in space. The first thing Mae saw from space was her hometown. As she gazed at the city below, she smiled. She thought of the little girl who dreamed of being an astronaut. She had made it to space. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that biography. I think this is a really great one over Mae. All right, let's go ahead and begin our questions. Mae Jemison questions. Number 7, what is the central idea of the story? A, museums. B, Mae Jemison's life. Or C, space. Number 7, what is the central idea of the story? A, museums. B, Mae Jemison's life. Or C, space. All right, if you need more time, just pause the video. So we're talking about central idea, what the story is mostly about. Is the story mostly about museums? Was it mostly about Mae's life? Or is it mostly about space? It was mostly about B, Mae's life. We didn't really talk about museums too much. I think we mentioned it once, and space was brought up a couple of times, but that's not what the story is mostly about. It's mostly about May's life.